I set this on? Okay. I was going to say something if I could get through. Okay.
You're gonna put.
Do you have a preference?
No, sir.
Sorry.
You sure you don't want to do this?
100% sure this is not my wheelhouse.
What's that?
This is not my wheelhouse. I work in the shower over here.
Yeah.
Here, if you want to stand on this side.
On this side?
Just
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's do that just to be safe.
See, we have one more reporter coming, so we might as well.
is it a camera?
Yeah, we might as well. Wait a second or so here.
Nice to meet you.
We're going to wait for the late arrival to set up, and then we'll hurry up. You're good? All right. Everybody ready? Everybody hear me? Everybody sound good? Good morning, and thank you for coming. My name's Dave Lash. I'm the Chief of Police of the Northern York County Regional Police Department. I always like to give us a plug. We are the first and oldest regional police department in the state, as well as the largest. On July 5th, 2021, Northern York County Regional Police officers were dispatched to Cousler Park in Manchester Township for a shooting. First officers arrived on scene within a minute of the call. They found 20-year-old Justin Griffith critically injured and lying in the parking lot. Those first two officers arrived, immediately began first aid measures to try to save Justin's life. Other officers arrived and began checking the park for additional assailants or victims. Justin was transported to the hospital and unfortunately succumbed to his injuries that night on a senseless and cowardly act of violence. I'd like to again offer our condolences to the Griffith family and thank them for their patience and trust in our department over the past 18 months. It doesn't go without notation that today is the 18-month anniversary of his death. This incident not only deprived the Griffith family of a loved one, but it also stole the sense of safety and security from our communities. Our actions today, hopefully, will bring relief to the family, but also to the greater community, those who visit and use the premier recreational facility in the county. This morning at 6:30 a.m., Elijah Penn, age 19, was taken into custody at his home by the Northern York County Regional Police Department, the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force, and the York County Drug Task Force. We will be releasing his photograph, booking photo, at the end of the news conference. I would like to thank the 20 Northern Regional officers that responded to the scene that night. Their actions in preserving evidence and information and gaining intel were vital to our investigation. I'd like to recognize Northern Regional Detective Steve Lebo, Diane Blue Shirt, and our entire Criminal Investigations Division. Detective Lebo was the lead investigator on this and worked tirelessly over the last 18 months to bring justice for Justin. Hang on, page. I would like to thank the York County District Attorneys, Dave Sunday, and Assistant DA John Halm for their assistance on this case, as well as the remainder of their staff and the county detectives. I would also like to thank the investigative grand jury for their service to our community and to this incident. At this time, I'd like to introduce Shauna Griffith, Justin's mother, who's going to have a few words.
Good morning. I first and foremost want to say thank you to the community who have continued to support not just myself, but my entire family for the past 18 months. As Chief Lash has stated, today is 18 months to the day that we have lost Justin, and every day of those 18 months, 549 days, it has not been easy for us. I do want to thank the nameless and faceless members of the grand jury. They were brave enough to deliver for us what a lot of community members were scared, and that is one step towards justice for Justin. To ADA Ham and to DA Sunday, I'm so grateful for them in being brave enough to take on this case and to bring us to where we are now. I'm not ignorant to the fact that there are many families who don't get to be in this place that we are right now, and I'm beyond grateful to have this opportunity. To Detective Lebo, there aren't enough words for me to thank this man for who he has been to me specifically in the last 18 months, whether it was 2 a.m. or whether it was just to share with me something positive that he found in his investigation, just validating for me who the young man was that I raised. He didn't hesitate to reach out to me during these 18 months and kept me abreast every day of these 18 months in regards to the investigation. Never did I feel like this police department fell asleep on Justin or forgot about us. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dave Sunday. I'm the York County District Attorney. This presentment, which resulted from a 4-month grand jury investigation, details the testimony of numerous witnesses and evidence that includes cell phone data location that helped solve the murder of Justin Griffith. This arrest is proof that law enforcement perseverance can overcome many obstacles in proving a murder case. I am grateful to our York County Grand Jury for shining a light on Griffith's killer, Elijah Penn, so that we can hold him accountable for this murder. I'd like to give special credit to Northern York County Regional Detective Stephen Lebo and the York County team at the District Attorney's Office, to include Chief Deputy Prosecutor John Hom and the York County detectives for their determination in solving this murder. Thank you to the dedicated efforts of York County's investigative grand jury, who are citizens just like you. Another crime has been solved, and another dangerous person will be made to answer for his violent crime. Thank you. We'll take brief questions. Your question is, why the grand jury? With a lot of the violent crime that we're dealing with, not only in York County, but in other places around the state, one of the most effective tools that gives the district attorney and the police certain powers to compel testimony, to do it under the secrecy of the grand jury, that puts us in a position where we can solve certain murders that otherwise individuals will not come forward. The reality is, with this homicide and with so many others, individuals in the community, for whatever reason, are not necessarily coming forward to provide police and prosecutors the information that they need to be able to solve these cases. So with that being said, we have a duty to keep this community safe. And so as a result of that, we're utilizing every single tool that is legally available to us to identify the facts and circumstances surrounding these murders. Like I said, the investigative grand jury is a tool amongst many others that we can utilize to compel witness testimony when otherwise they won't do it. That is why we're utilizing an investigative grand jury, and we will continue to do so. Well, the 4 months of the investigative grand jury is over top of, it's included within those 18 months. So, as Chief Lash stated, the amount of resources that were put into this investigation are really overwhelming, and it's because it's our job. Some investigations are short, some are long. It depends on the facts. It depends on whether or not people want to cooperate and tell us what they saw and heard. And we have an ethical duty under the law to ensure that we meet certain burdens along the way. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long, sometimes it may take years. But I thank you for your question, because the takeaway is, regardless of how long it takes, we are going to keep doing it, and we will not give up, and we will push, and we will have perseverance, and we will utilize every tool available as prosecutors and as police to solve these murders, even if citizens do not want to come forward and tell us who did it.
Are you able to share any of the situational, what happened that evening?
So attached to the affidavit of probable cause in this case is the grand jury presentment. So according to the law, that's the only piece of information you'll have, and that presentment outlines circumstances involved in the case, and that's the only thing that has been signed by a judge to be made publicly available. So when you get the affidavit, and if you look at the presentment document, it'll outline much of the investigation. As outlined in the grand jury presentment, this incident was part of a ongoing gang-related act of violence. As outlined in the presentment, the targets, and Justin Griffith in particular, was not a target that day. And as outlined in the presentment, there were many, many shots fired by Elijah Penn that resulted in Justin Griffith being shot in the back. And again, review the grand jury presentment, and you'll get all of those facts. Thank you, everyone, for covering this, and have a great day.
We didn't get a chance to know your son, and I look at this picture and I just see such a great smile. And can you share with us a little bit about your son and how we can honor and remember him?
Justin was probably the most charismatic and silly young man ever. One of his friends is actually behind you, and I think she can attest to that silliness. He was a really great friend. He was a really great teammate. He spent his high school years on the football team for York Suburban. One thing about Justin is it didn't matter day or night. He was always there for a friend. And on that day specifically, he was only there to play basketball with a friend. And unfortunately, he lost his life. I would say that if given the opportunity to do that day again, I don't think he would have done it any differently, because Justin didn't turn his back on a friend no matter what their situations were. And I think the young man you see in that smile and the positive feelings that you get from looking at that smile, that's exactly who Justin is and who he remains. I can't look at that picture even while I'm mourning my son and not smile, because that is what continues to live with me, is that smile. And any way that someone can honor Justin is to pay it forward. Whether it's, we have a Facebook page dedicated to his memory called A Smile from Justin, where we as a family will do random acts of kindness in Justin's memory, and all we ask is that other people in the community and other citizens do the same. Just find a cause, find a person, find a young person that you can positively impact, and just do so to continue on Justin's memory.
Thank you.
And as we conclude, I just want to note that, as in every case, these are criminal charges, and the defendant in this case is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. These are charges. He's been charged with homicide, attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and recklessly endangering another person. Thank you, everyone, for attending today, and additional facts are included within the grand